Hello and welcome to Mad About Sports for yet another video. And today is a very special video because it's right after a very big night in the World Cup which has taken place in Mumbai. Now, just as you think you've seen everything in the World Cup, just looking at the timeout dismissal which Angelo Matthews had to go through and everything else regarding the drama of qualification, there comes Glenn Maxwell, who went on to play one of the best ever ODI innings, maybe the best ever ODI innings which you would have ever witnessed. Now, what's the significance about this innings and why do we call it the best ever ODI innings? Now, remember, Afghanistan and Australia were playing a very important clash if you look at it from a perspective of Australia, because Australia wanted to qualify after winning this game and Afghanistan wanted to stay in the hunt for the semi final. And just as when you thought Ibrahim Zadran scoring a brilliant 100 and Afghanistan going on to push 291 odd runs, that is when things just started to turn around. Afghanistan, who came on the ball, picked up the Australian top out and made sure Australia were under tremendous pressure. 69 for 5, 91 for 7. Now, this is where things start to get interesting. So 91 for 7, 9 out of 10 days, you'd be like, okay, the game is over, done and dusted. Now, a lot of teams cannot pull it out from here on because you need some bit of luck to really go on to do it. But how often have we spoken about the fact that it's not over until it's over? And now I'll give you two comparisons because if you talk about 91 for 7 and chasing it down, or 31 for 4 in a 20 over game and chasing 160 odd, you have to say it requires nerves of steel to really get through to the line. That's when Glenn Maxwell's possibly the greatest ever one day knock of 201. He scored a double hundred while chasing, the first ever player in the history of one day cricket to score a double hundred while chasing a total. And to add to that, he scored one of the fastest ever double hundreds as well. Now, when we look at the fastest ever double hundreds of all time, you get to Ishan Kishan is right there. But Glenn Maxwell, this knock is even more special. If you look at a lot of them, most of them have been openers. Everybody who has scored a double hundred has been an opener, except for Glenn Maxwell. Now, that is what makes this a very distinct and unique feat. Now, we talk about a couple of days, 175, when the team was in trouble for 17 for 5, coming in and scoring that. Definitely, that's right up there in the top of the chart. But look at the physical circumstances Glenn Maxwell was in. At one point, this stage when Australia closely required 90 to 80 odd runs, Glenn Maxwell couldn't move, he couldn't run. His body was crammed up. He had an issue with both the legs running, so he couldn't really score runs. He couldn't move his feet. He was just stand and deliver. Now, we've often heard the word that footwork is the most important facet when it comes to scoring runs, or when it comes to really taking your batting to a whole another level. But Max also proved that footwork is overrated sometimes. Now that is where his stand and deliver, just standing there and piercing the gaps, hitting it out of the park, was just incredible side of hitting. And one can say this is coming out of one of the best ever knocks you could ever see in world of cricket. Now, if you just look at this picture, and it's very iconic in Wankhede, when you climb up the stairs, you get greeted. You've seen Sachin Tendulkar, you've seen Virat Kohli come out of this. Now, Wankhede crowd was behind Glenn Maxwell last evening just to see. Let's look at that partnership, right? Now, we often talk about the hero, but we don't often talk about the support cast in that victory. Patrick Cummins, the captain of Australia, played a very important support cast in that whole knock. He scored 12 runs of 68 balls and making sure there was no hiccup from the other end. Because remember, Australia would have lost wickets on the other end, but Glenn Maxwell would have been in tremendous pressure. But Patrick Cummins made sure everything was shuttered down. He made sure that there was no wickets, there was no penetration which was given to the Afghanistan spinners or for the Afghanistan bowlers of any matter. And that support cast needs to be given appreciation. If you look at the entirety of the 201 run, 202 run partnership, obviously it was Glenn Maxwell scored 179 odd runs, but Patrick Cummins' role in that partnership, scoring the rest of 12% of the whole partnership, you have to give him credit for that, for just holding one end for himself and just making sure that things don't go in a very bad way. Now, if you look at Australia's successful chases in their in World Cup history, some of them had come long ago. One of them has come in 1996, 1999, 2007, and 2003, and this was one of the biggest. This was the highest chase in Wankhede as well. to chase down 293 odd runs. It was no joke. You really had to, take the game to a whole nother level to chase it down in just on a normal circumstances. But here we're talking about you being 91 for 7 and still chasing it down. So that really required something outstanding from your team to do it, or from outstanding from a single player. You know, Sachin Tendulkar himself had come out to acknowledge that max pressure to max performance. This has to be the best ODI knock I've seen in my life. I mean, let's just leave the occasion of the victory. Just look at the circumstances, everything was surrounded it, the pressure, the fact that Afghanistan were on top of the game. Afghanistan had chances, let's be honest. Afghanistan had chances. Australia did give away a couple of opportunities. Let's talk about Maxwell's catch, which is dropped by Mujib, or that ball which Maxwell had hit it head to close to mid off, where I think it was Hashmatullah Shahidi and Rashid Khan both had come very close to grabbing that, but both couldn't really get a hand onto it. Or the LBW call, which Noor Ahmed had gotten Maxwell out. In the review, the ball was just missing the stump. Maxwell also decided to walk off at that point, thinking that it was out. So the luck did favor Maxwell, you can say, to a certain extent, but Maxwell rode the luck and Maxwell made sure he capitalized it to complete powers. He did not give away anything post that. Even with one leg, you thought at one point, he'd give away a chance any point of time, but he just did not. He just kept, piercing that gap time and time again. And Afghanistan had no clue at one point to see once the runs had come below 50, there it was all Maxwell. You always felt like it was Australia's game from there on, because you knew Patrick Cummins could bat, Adam Zampa can hold around with the bat, and Josh Hazlewood too. So Afghanistan had given up at one point to stage. It was clearly evident that Afghanistan knew that if they had any chance, it was just by picking up Maxwell and making sure they put a complete halt on the scoring rate. But it wasn't to be. It was Maxwell who really wrote something very special. Now, what does this mean for Australia in World Cup? Now, they've qualified into the semi-final. Now, an Australian team that once they are there in the knockouts, they could be the most potent and the most powerful and the most fierce team out there. Now, having gotten such a victory where you really thought, you have lost the game, and to snatch a victory from the jaws of defeat, that really helped the morale of the team. That really skyrocketed the morale. And not just that, now they'll start believing we are back in it. Now, this is the kind of mentality we talk about. The 2003 is Australia, 1999 is Australia, or 2007 is Australia. It's never done until it's totally done. You always have that one player who will come and take you to the victory. You have seen that in the past when in 2003 when Ricky Ponting used to bat, or Andrew Simons used to come and pull a win, or Adam Gilchrist used to take the team home out of nowhere. Now that's what we're talking about over here. Australia will start to believe again. We are back in this hunt and we're totally in it. Now it's just a matter of two more big games and they'll be world champions once again. So do let us know in the comments if this is the greatest ever ODI knock you have seen, or if not, which is the greatest ever ODI knock you have seen, and will this top couple lives 175 as well. Thank you for watching this video. If you're new here, do not forget to subscribe to our channel. Also click the bell icon so every time we post a video, you'll get notified. And also check out all our videos and also like this video to help us with the algorithms. And check out our courses with Mad About Sports. If you are a numbers buff, if you want to work with analytics, and if you want to be working with your favorite IPL team, and if you want to set a footing into the world of analytics, this is your opportunity to check out our courses with Mad About Sports. On that note, take care and see you all very soon. Bye-bye.